Just a year after the release of the first Spyro, fans are treated to the sequel with Ripto's Rage. For some reason, it's also known as Gateway to Glimmer in Europe. Not sure why they got the name change, but hey, it's the same game, so no harm done. Now, I was excited to start playing through this game again. When I say I played a lot of Spyro as a kid, this is the one I'm talking about. To put it in a nutshell, everything the original Spyro did, this one did better. And I mean everything. Now that, in and of itself, should be enough of a selling point for this game, but hey, what would be the point of this review then? Time to go more in depth. The story starts up the same way the original did, in the world of dragons. Spyro and Sparks are recovering from their grueling game of tag with Nasty Nork and are looking to take a vacation at the beach, Dragon Shores. When they jump into the portal for the beach, they get intercepted to another world, Avalar. Here we're treated to 3 new characters, the Professor, Allura the Fawn, and Hunter the Cheetah. These guys need Spyro's help to get rid of the problem that they caused themselves, bringing the evil being Ripto and his 2 idiotic henchmen Crush and Gulp to their world. Ripto is accidentally brought to Avalar, but his dragon sense couldn't detect any dragons, so he decided to stay. That gave Allura the idea to find a dragon, and everything goes full circle. And then, just like the first game, the adventure begins. And already here we have an improvement. We have a more believable villain in Ripto for one, and we have those 3 extra characters who are just a great addition to the cast. Professor and Allura is cool and all, and then there's also Moneybags, who's really not lovable by any stretch of the imagination, but Hunter is definitely the shining star here. You know he's left an impression on me if even after over 10 years I've remembered his birthday being February 24th, 75.
Yeah, how about 22475? That's my birthday.
Oh, and here's your little fun fact for the day. You want to know where Ripto's name came from? Check out the Japanese box art for the original Spyro. See how Spyro's name is shown off there? Coincidence? I think not. Now, one look at the gameplay and you'd assume it's just the same as the first. Go around the levels, collecting gems, and kill enemies to your heart's content, sure. But the main difference this time around are the main collectibles in the orbs. Instead of just finding these in random places like the dragons in the first one, 90 to 95% of the orbs are received by doing missions of a wide variety. Removing evil spirits from Buddha-like statues? Sure. Feeding a giant tiki statue blue and yellow fish, but avoiding red ones because they give him a tummy ache? Sure. Riding a trolley to collect cogs in a multi-pathway course? Oh hell yeah. Or hey, why not, just play some hockey. Safe to say, this adds some much needed variety that the first game just lacked. You're always doing something different and you're constantly getting rewarded, so the game certainly never feels like it ever loses steam the whole way through. It also helps that the majority of the missions are just a ton of fun. To add to the variety, the game also throws new moves at Spyro constantly. Now this is good a time as any to bring up Moneybags again, Avalar's resident money-grubbing piece of garbage. I would give him a nicer introduction, but I can't. Those who have played the game can agree with me that there really isn't a whole lot nice you can say about this guy. But as far as what he actually does, throughout the game you can pay him a nice handful of gems when you find him to either open up new paths, or give you access to 3 new moves. Swimming, climbing ladders, and a head bash. You'd think Moneybags is quite the gentleman teaching this poor little dragon how to swim, but he's such a jerk about it. Although, to be fair, these are probably some of the best swimming mechanics in any platformer, if not the best. They're pretty solid. These 3 moves actually add a bit of backtracking to the game by putting gems and orbs in areas you can't get to without them. It's not enough backtracking to feel completely annoying, but it's enough to feel like the upgrades are actually worth something. Although there was one instance of backtracking that just straight up falls flat. Fracture Hills. Oh, Fracture Hills.
Thank you for releasing me.
Oh geez, it returns. If you've played this level before, you already know what I'm going to talk about. The level's fine enough on its own besides the fact you hear annoying bagpipes like 5 times. There's a senile old man you need to guide over to Hunter because he's somehow created some sort of liquid to get rid of concrete, which somehow Hunter got his feet stuck into. You have to actually guide him around this area, which is a pain because if you see the paths he takes, you'd think he was a lot worse off than just senile. Then once you free Hunter, he offers you another mission which you can't do without the head bash, which you probably won't have at the time, so when you come back you have to redo the old man mission again. Oh, what fun! But other than that, backtracking is actually done really well. Many of the levels also feature special gates that activate when you kill enough enemies in said level, and they give you temporary power-ups like Supercharge, Super Fire Breath, Full on Flight, Walking on Lava, etc. It changes things up even more, and man, there is something just insanely satisfying about nailing your Supercharge path. This time around, there are 3 homeworlds all based on the seasons of the year. Summer Forest, Autumn Plains, and Winter Tundra. What, no spring? You guys have a problem with spring, Insomniac? Alright, I see how it is. These homeworlds are a lot bigger than the ones from the first game and are just filled to the brim with levels. They also all have insanely ambient music, which is just so soothing, so it's satisfying in and of itself to just run around and accomplish basically nothing thanks to the music. The levels don't follow the same themes as the homeworlds, of course, but that just means we have level themes of as many types as you can think of. You have your ice level, your lava level, your water level where giant tikis are taking over, you know, what you'd expect. And while some of the missions may be similar in style, each one definitely presents their own thing. Now what I really like about this game's style is that every level starts with a cutscene showing the species of that level in some sort of trouble. And once you beat that level, you receive a talisman, which is like the symbol of their people, in the first 14 levels at least, and you also get another cutscene showing peace being restored to the land, which, I don't know, makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. My favorite set of levels are the 1-2 punch of Zephyr and Breeze Harbor. These two worlds are at war with each other, so the species you help in one of them are the enemies in another, which is pretty damn cool, and I can't think off the top of my head seeing anything similar to that anywhere else. To quickly mention the bosses, they're actually full-on fights this time around, and can actually be challenging. Granted, there are only 3 of them, but they're a lot better than the quote-unquote bosses the first game had. The last thing the game offers are the return of the Speedway levels. They're pretty much the same in theory. You fly around, destroy 4 sets of 8 targets in a time limit, and each one destroyed adds a couple seconds to the timer. Except this time you're going to have permanent supercharge, so some of the targets are on ground level, which adds a bit to the franticness of these levels, and with levels like these, the more frantic, the better. Even these levels have a hidden mission somewhere tucked inside where you can do a little extra minigame with Hunter. So you combine the franticness of the levels along with having some reason to explore them, that easily makes them better than the ones from the first game. The game also has a list of achievement-style things you can do called skill points. You see all these windmills and hurricanes? Destroy them all and you get a skill point. See this tiki statue in Idle Springs? Land on it and you get a skill point. Somehow nail Ripto during the Gulp boss fight? That's awesome, and you get a skill point. It's a cool idea in theory, and they technically are ahead of the game considering the popularity of Xbox's achievements and PlayStation 3's trophies, but all they unlock are semi-humorous pictures in what the game calls an epilogue. It's not really worth it, so I never bothered getting all the skill points as you can see. So if you really need that desire, I'm pretty sure you can find it online elsewhere. Besides the oh-so-fun times in Fracture Hills, I really can't think of anything negative to say about Ripto's Rage. My biggest problem with the first game is that it just lacks variety and feels overly barren, but this one takes that one complaint and completely turns it on its head. Every level has that handful of missions which keeps things very interesting, and they're all given to you by other people, so the feeling of the lack of variety and loneliness are completely gone. The feeling of actually being in a dragon's world like the first game had is completely gone, but it's a small price to pay when everything else is done so much better and is just so much fun. And it also helps that each of the game's new species adds to the game's charm. Presentation-wise, the worlds are a lot more bright and colorful, so they're certainly a lot better to look at, and musically speaking, Stuart Copeland is back, and while the songs still definitely sound Spyro-y like the first game did, they're a lot catchier this time around to match the more colorful levels. So even though we have the same composer, that's yet another improvement. Oh, and hey, similar to the first game, press a few buttons on the title screen and you can play a track from Crash Team Racing. And again, that's pretty awesome. And did I mention yet how awesome Hunter was?
You can't even keep track of your running shoes. How can we trust you with 14 talisman?
So at the end of the day, I'd go as far as to say this is the definitive Spyro experience. Yeah, the first game was very unique and original for the time, and it certainly warrants a lot of nostalgia, but it's really hard to deny that on every front, this game just did it better. A more charming story thanks to more characters, a wider variety of bright and colorful worlds with a catchier soundtrack, and levels being more fun to play thanks to the wide variety of missions. Man, this is just one of my favorite 3D platformers of all time, and I'd go as far as to say this is one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm going to go ahead and give Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage, or Gateway to Glamour, whatever the hell the name is, a full-on 5 out of 5. Totally recommended no matter how you get your hands on it. Now next time, we're going to talk about the Year of the Dragon, which many people consider the best in the trilogy. Spyro 2 certainly raised the bar a good amount, so it'll be interesting to head back to that one. But as always, thank you guys for watching, hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll catch you later.